Okay, guys, welcome back. You're still tuned in to Fantastic Fridays. And you know, from here, the song that you heard earlier, the intro song, you know, it's time for Talk the Ting with Kim. So for this evening discussion, guys, you guys know I've been talking about this from last week. Money. And this was a hot topic, mainly because January was happening, you know, 90 days of January was happening, and persons were just praying on payday because actually before January 1st reached, a lot of us were broke.
Of course.
I remember.
New Year's.
Listen, worse, all of us got paid early, right? We got paid early. Mid-December. And then we're like, you know what? We have plans, we have gifts, we have all these things we want to do. And then what? We did it. And then shortly after Christmas Day passed, like so the 27th, 28th, people are like, come on, December not done yet?
When am I
like
going
the
to
money
pay
now
again?
add up. The money now add up, like the money almost done.
Yeah.
And December don't finish it, you know? So that inspired me personally from my personal experience as well. I was like, listen, Kim, this not reaching again, you know, this is not reaching me. So I started doing my own little research, learning about it, looking online, googling, as we said, do some research as well, guys. And then I said, you know what, we need to have a whole discussion with an expert on this. And this is where this lovely gentleman beside me comes in from Learn, Grow, and Invest, Mr. Jermaine McDonald. Good evening.
Good evening. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you as well. Yes, thank you for being here. So I want to get into firstly Learn, Grow, and Invest. I know some of us may not be familiar with this name or your brand. So can you let us know a bit about your brand? Let's start with that.
And while you do so, tell us about you as well.
Exactly.
Sure. But before that, so you mentioned about the holidays.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I do, and I don't know if I should share this publicly, but
hold on, wait.
No,
we should have talked about this outside first.
Share it. It's money things.
Okay,
money
okay.
things.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just saying you can save money by attending like gatherings that others keep.
Wow. That's true.
Yeah.
I realize. And then you also save on the cleanup time, because everybody got left you to clean up. Yeah, and that's dinner.
You know, I like this. You know, already I feel like this business, Learn, Grow, and Invest.
I mean,
and not only money we're giving tips about, just overall, general.
Yeah. And then also, I know nothing really loud, because some people think that when they're doing these life-changing things, everybody have to know, like, you know, okay, you're saving, so everybody have to see how you change your house color and all this. No, just a simple move, change your life, you can save from it, yeah?
Yes.
Because most things have a financial component.
Yeah.
So,
okay, makes sense.
All right. So Learn, Grow, Invest really started when my wife and I wanted to figure out our own money. Right. So we were $2 million in debt, and we're trying to figure out how to get through that. Right. Marriage was really stressful.
Yeah. When money problems about, you know, everything else become a
problem.
problem.
About everybody a problem, right? So,
exactly.
Yeah.
So we used to have this thing. I remember clearly when we would take a trip that we could not afford, and then when we're coming back we'd argue about the trip. Right? So that was just a sample of just how much money would just be a hard thing for us to talk about. Right?
Yeah.
So we took about 18 months to clear that debt. Tried everything, then we actually decided to look at what the Bible said about money. So we started to look at that, and that really helped to guide us on some of the topics like debt and investing and all that stuff. So we cleared it, and then we started to say, well, no, we have some extra money. Let's start investing. So we had like a New Year's dinner with some friends. They were talking about investing, and then we're like, well, how do we get started? Let's form a group with you. 7 of us in 2017, and then as soon as I started to learn enough, I started wanting to bring
share to the team.
Yeah, exactly. So went from 7 to like 15 to like 20. Now we're thousands across the Caribbean and social media. So yeah, that's the short version of how it started. But we've been doing this full time for almost 2 years, and we just try to help people better manage their money.
Well, if you can move from negative 2 million to, you know, to even reach back to zero, I'd want to listen to some advice from you.
No, but that's actually why I love that we have them as our guest, because it's not someone that's either speaking from a place of being used to money, and it's not someone that, you know, go do some research like what I would do, and then be like, oh, this is what you should do, but I haven't tested it myself. It's been tested, it's been tried, it's been proved, and they can relate because, as I said, money was a difficult conversation.
Kim, as you mentioned that, you know, you know the TikTokers and the YouTubers and all these people here, because most of them have access to the money. They're like, listen to me, all you guys have to do is you got to buy 3 properties before you reach 25.
And they're like, how do you buy it? You never tell me what to do.
Sir,
you never tell me how to clear my current debt. What do you mean? I'm living on somebody's property.
Exactly. So we need to know how we can get, you know, to save our money. How do we get to invest to build our money before we can even think about buying something?
Yeah, and the truth is, it's never too late to get started, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I started investing at 33 years old. So it's not like I got this great head start.
Yeah.
But we've helped persons as high as like 60 years old.
Yeah.
You know, 65, close to retirement, to teenagers.
Yeah.
Right? So we go into schools and churches and we just tell people how to manage their money. So we all have a background and a history with money that shapes how we treat it now.
Yeah.
So you would think about money a certain way based on what you heard your
probably family, friends,
say, the things that you thought about growing up that shapes what you do now. So some habits that you can't break.
Yeah.
So for example, for me, if I have a good day or a bad day, I want to indulge in food.
Yeah.
That's something that was costing me.
Oh, no, that's not a we thing. That's like some of us. I thought we were all doing this.
Yeah, but that's what he said.
No. So it got to the point where immediately as I would get a win at work, I'm going to buy
something fancy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, so you mean like when we get paid, we shouldn't do that braffing that we do on payday?
Well, so here's the thing. We work so hard, when the pay comes, we feel like we need to
celebrate.
Yeah.
Exactly. So what we need to do is manage that celebration. Because what would happen to me is that I'd get paid, I'm celebrating. By the time I look at it, payday is 2 weeks away and
your celebration done.
Exactly. so you just kind of need to temper the celebration a little bit, and that was part of what helped us to bring down the debt, because we tried to like say, okay, celebrate once every 3 months.
Yeah.
So it's not that we stopped, but we kind of scaled it back and we started to look at what was really costing us. So a meal would be like 1,000 or 1,500. We're like, well, if you add that up,
it does add up.
A week. That's 84 meals a month. That's money. Like 80 grand. Most people are making somewhere between 80 and 100.
Yeah.
So if you spend 80 on food alone, not rent, not food, not internet, it's gonna start adding up.
The bills are gonna attack you.
So then I started to do this thing where I buy a lunch and it would be lunch and dinner.
Well, so, I can say I started that back in my call center days, because I don't know how persons did it though. Person would always say error. The same person, I be having a small lunch, I be like eating a half of my lunch or something, and that same person come and say, oh, lend me 5 bills now, and them gonna buy 5 piece, 4 piece, 6 piece over KFC. You get me? And I'm saying, but hold on, me I try to save. I have with my money.
But look at it this way, most places in Jamaica are known to give you more rice than you get.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so
true.
That split.
That extra rice that some people throw away. You just buy a 2 piece and put with one with rice. And that's another So it's simple things like that can save you $20,000-$30,000 a month. And that's what we did for the 18 months.
Well, I love the answer that you went into, because that sort of answers my question I was going to come to next, which was basically, in your experience, what are the main reasons we struggle with money management? And you touched on basically what we learned about money, like our relationship, what we saw our parents say, people, even things as simple as, I remember watching a video recently and they said, some persons will look at something and be like, oh, that's a rich people thing. You know, like we think it's something out of our reach, but we need to stop thinking along that line. So I'd love that you speak more about that whole, you know, how we learn money or what we know about money.
So we all have a pattern and we all have a mindset that can limit us in terms of money, right? And there's this thing, it's actually well known and documented that people sometimes may largely look at persons with wealth as persons who are either doing something wrong or criminals.
Yeah.
If you think that way, then you're actually going to position yourself to not,
Yeah, you're gonna limit
Yeah.
yourself, or
Yeah.
you're gonna hold back yourself.
or just spend enough to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same place where you are.
Yeah.
You don't want to be
Right.
too rich because you feel that it's a
Exactly.
bad thing.
Exactly. So it's amazing how our mindset controls everything that we do, and it's the
Yeah.
same with money. And we really just have to see the patterns that we have, right? And don't underestimate the ways in which money can impact what we do, right? And just take really, simple ways to save and simple ways to make additional money as well, because truth is, for some of us, we are not earning enough for our current lifestyle.
Oh.
Because this is also something I see where persons feel bad that they're not doing better with money, when the truth is they're not making enough money
For the lifestyle that they want
Yes.
or live
So
in
they're-
currently.
No, so not necessarily even for the lifestyle that they want.
Okay, just in general.
but
Just the basics.
just
Yeah.
the basics.
They're not
Oh.
able to
Right.
make ends meet.
Exactly. So in those cases, if that's you simply just need to focus on earning more, right? Because if I have 2 kids,
Yeah.
I'm going to school, they're going to school, I can't make less than a certain amount
Yeah.
to just get by.
Yeah.
So that person shouldn't feel bad that they're not doing enough, or they're not investing, or they're not in a certain position simply because they may not be earning enough money.
Yeah, their circumstances does not allow that.
Exactly. And you have to be mindful of that. So what I say to persons is that if you do the basics and you're still not able to make it through, say if the job that you're doing at company A can be done at company B for the same
For more money. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See if you can get a more pay for what you're doing.
Some places you don't need to learn anything new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just need to work somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? And those are, again, just simple things that you can do to give yourself that room. Because once you have the room now, then you have the opportunity to do certain things.
Yeah.
But if you're always trying to keep up, then you're just gonna feel bad that you're not able to make progress, and then it's hard for you to see what options may be there for you.
But I love that perspective, because I know for a lot of financial analysts, when you watch the videos, they're just telling you what you need to do, what you need to do, what you need to do, not factoring in that, okay, as you said, some of us just can't make the ends meet if you're just not making enough. You're just not making enough. But then it's like, oh, well, no matter what your amount is, or no matter how much money you get, you must scan, And as you said, your reality, your life, if you have 2 kids, everybody go in school, probably have 2 cars, gas price go up so often, So I love that you touched that perspective. So it's not necessarily only about just trying to figure out what you have and just make it work. It's about, okay, when you see that this is not working, there are other alternatives. You're not probably bound to this company. And I love that you said as well, you don't have to learn something new. You can do the same thing somewhere else.
Some jobs, if you realize, you have cleaning jobs that pay 10, and you have
some
some that pay 50.
Exactly.
Sometimes it's where you place yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I love that perspective. And then what I want to get into now is, what are some essential steps for creating a personal financial plan?
All right.
So a plan has to follow a goal, right? So if you think about what you want to accomplish, and we all have goals, right? And we talk about them all the time, but we are maybe failing to see a path to it because we don't have that plan, right? So I'll give you a simple example, right?
Yeah.
So when we wanted to own our first home, we went in and we tried to talk to the bank. They did this thing where they calculated our net worth, and it was negative because we were in debt.
Yeah, in that. Yeah.
And so we couldn't get that loan, right? So the plan that we formed at that time was to get to the point that we could qualify for that loan. And what that looks like is that we asked the bank simply, what would we need to have to qualify for a loan for X? Right? And so that was our goal, and we now shaped a plan around that. So it starts with a goal.
Yeah.
What do you want to accomplish? What is meaningful for you? What would make it worth going out to work? What would make it worth staying up if you have to, or studying if you have to? And then now just create a list of steps to it.
Yeah.
Right? And it's important that if you set that goal, to find somebody who's maybe accomplished the goal who you can get
like a mentor. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right?
Because sometimes, I mean, this would be, I would say, uncharted territory for you. So you might need a bit of advice or a bit of, what to do if I meet this hurdle here, you know?
Yeah. And the truth is, mentors, I mean, some persons may get a little thrown off by that.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be somebody who is a mentor per se, but somebody who like a co-worker has done it. Just ask them what they did step by step.
Okay. Yeah.
And then you can say, well, okay, that sounds feasible to me. Or if it doesn't sound feasible, find somebody whose story relates to yours. That
Okay.
you can say, well, they're 2 steps ahead of me. They took those 2 steps, and I can get there. So the goal first, the plan comes now with the list of steps, and then the third thing that I'd say is find somebody that you can be now accountable to.
Okay.
Because it's not easy to kind of maintain it if it's taking a while to
It's going to take some discipline.
yeah. So find somebody who you will trust and will respect that can say, well, Jermaine, how is that goal to retire? Well, I'm supposed to be saving X, but I didn't do it this month. Well, Jermaine,
You're going to have to step it up.
Yeah.
exactly.
You're going to have to step it
So
up.
that will help you
Yeah.
because it's always easy to push through something when there's somebody
We have
beside you.
support.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right? And then the rest of it is just really to be flexible because sometimes the plan may take you a little bit longer and sometimes circumstances may change.
Yeah,
There are
life
persons-
happens.
There are persons who wanted to retire in 2020 but they couldn't because of
Yeah, just randomly.
so that
The
now has
pandemic.
to be pushed back. So if you were dead set on retiring in 2020, 4 years later you'd be like, well, I failed at that.
Yeah.
But reality says that you may have to push that back. You may have to work for 4 more years, then you can retire. Right? So that's what I'd say for those who want to kind of have a plan and just understand that again, it's just life, right? So be flexible in that your plans may morph, and of course I always say with goals, ensure that they're smart.
So you say start with the goal, then create your plan, your steps to get there. Find a support system, accountability partner, somebody you can check in, keep you in check. We can have that conversation, and then, as you said, be flexible with it because you might have the goals, but on paper it look like one thing, but life just changes that dynamic.
Exactly. So I wanted to retire at 40. And I celebrated my 40th birthday on Monday, and I'm not retired yet. So clearly that goal.
Oh, it's like
has to
tomorrow
be-
you retire instead. Okay, that's a few days
But-
later.
and
I'm
then-
not saying.
And then that's the thing that I mean, knocks a lot of us down.
When we
If you-
don't.
If you think
Yeah,
about it, you say, you want to buy your car at 25. If you're 200,000 short or 100,000 short, no, beat up yourself.
You achieve more.
You reach further than you should have even reached in the first place.
My
So
wife was extremely distraught at the fact that we weren't able to buy a home by the time she was 25.
Yeah.
Because it was this thing that she had
Yeah.
Yeah.
for a long time.
Wifey, young, wifey. But I get you. Sometimes you really have to sometimes it helps when you do set those big targets for yourself at a young age. It helps you to get closer, but then you can't put too much weight on yourself.
You just have to know the difference between something that motivates you or something that discourages you if you don't reach it.
Okay. But I love that you talk now about that because now I want to know about creating a budget. So this is a word that we use very loosely. Every pay. I'm sorry, let me talk about me. I don't intro talk about nobody else. Every pay period I'm like, make a budget.
Budget out
I
the
got a
window.
budget, and then budget at this point is just a phrase I use around payday.
Why
And
am I
after
not-
that it's like
Why am I not budgeting anymore?
exactly.
How much do I spend a
Hold
month?
on, how do we not have a dance called budget yet? The way everybody talk about
Because we
it,
afraid of budget.
Right? So the thing is, I want to understand this term of budgeting. Firstly, do you think it works? And if you do think so, how can we create an effective budget and stick to it?
I think a budget is a starting point, but the budget in itself doesn't change anything for you.
As yet, yeah.
Because the budget is just a plan.
Right. That's like a New Year resolution.
Exactly.
Making
But
it is one thing.
But then life happens. So the thing is, I can plan to do all these things with my money, and then the following day, I'm on the road because I'm late. I'm doing a radio interview, and then I go and buy food that I didn't plan to buy.
Yeah.
So a plan is just that.
Kim, him might tell me saying buy food outside. We're gonna give back the money.
I'm just
I don't know. I know.
Yeah,
But I get you. Your things happen that really and truly could not have probably budgeted for.
yeah.
Right?
So and so most people, when they do that budget at the start of the month, it stays there on paper, it stays there in Excel, and they never look at it.
Yeah.
Until now the month ends and they're like, why I
What happened to
plan
the
to
money?
spend 10,000 but I really spend 20.
Yeah.
So I think the way to look at a budget, it's something that gives you the best chance to spend what you want to spend. It's your best chance to tell your money where to go, and you can do it simply, right? Most of us have one or two. Most of us have one income stream. Some persons have 2 or 3, fine, but most of us have like similar expenses.
Yeah.
Right, so rent or
The
food
bills,
or
Lights,
water.
yeah.
internet. So that means that most of your budget can be done once for the year,
Right.
right? Because those things are fixed.
Yeah.
You're going to need internet. You're going to need food. So
Probably
I
the light a bit up and down, but other
exactly.
yeah.
So they're fixed expenses and variable expenses. So what I do is tell persons, give yourself a 10 to 20% threshold for the
variances.
for the utilities. So for example, at the start of every year, I budget for an increase in my light bill because it goes up every year.
Why the man? Hey, JPS. Okay, sorry.
And it's the same for internet. I've noticed that my internet bill has gone up every year for the past 5 years.
They sneak it on you, and yet still they advertise cheaper plans. We're gonna talk to Flo another day.
Exactly.
And Digicel.
So those things now help me to be in the best chance to actually stick to it. So it doesn't matter how you do it, whether it be pen or paper or Excel or some app. It just has to be something that fits into your lifestyle.
But don't just do it in your mind.
Don't do it in your mind.
Okay,
Because
alright.
that I used to try that,
It's not really too secure. It's not secure.
especially based on those of us who have to go on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As there are too many chances for us to.
They call it the receiptless purchases.
Yeah.
The
Exactly.
small ones.
Exactly, and that's why actually I don't keep cash anymore, because I find if I withdraw like $10,000 from the ATM, a week will end and I have 5,000. I was like, where did that 5,000 go?
Okay.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
And so that now is what I call leakage.
Oh,
Because
you
that
don't know where
money
that
now
goes.
you have no idea.
Unaccountable.
Exactly. So the budgeting, just keep it simple. I recommend that you at least review it twice per month, the start of the month, the end of the month. And when we were trying to clear our debt, we were reviewing it once per week.
Yeah.
And that is because we really were trying to get our
You
debt
had a
down.
goal and you
People,
were.
I recommend you review it once per week, cause trust me, we need a drastic. We need it to really, cause I think by the time they check it back at the end of the month, they might have slipped. So start off doing it once a week, then they can go to, as you said, the twice a month thing.
Yeah.
But like how I like that you said, all right, for you use your card and stuff. There was one that I developed on my own. Right, so since I'm the expert here, you can let me know if it makes sense, because I challenge the team in here to try it out, and also the listeners. So I said, all right, budget what you would use approximately for the week, right? As in, work out that the weekly cost. So this is after you pay your bills and stuff. We're talking about the money to take you through the month. Budget that's out for the week, and then of course put a little room for emergency, whether 2,000 or 3,000, because life happens, things may change up. Then, and I actually did try it last week, withdraw that amount, because for me, I don't mind the cash, right? Because I find it easier to swipe with the card, because you have the card, so even if I did leave the money at home, I have the card, I can swipe.
And not only with the card too, with the card, as I said, with the card, you probably budget 2,000 for the thing, the shop till it's a 3-5, you're like,
And you
"Well,
just swipe,
it."
exactly. But if I don't have the cash, I probably would say, no, I don't have that cash right now, right? So I did that, and then I said, stick to this for the week. Give yourself a weekly amount, right? And a few persons actually did try it with me. One person actually called me yesterday and said, yo, at work, I have like $2,000 left. All right. And I was so happy.
Usually with
to
a broker
hear that.
already.
But would you say, usually probably they would have spent more than that. But I said because they had that amount. 'Cause what I said to them is that when you see the money in your wallet or your purse, usually, let's say for example, you see something, you say, but hold on, I have 4 days left. I'm only have $4,000. I can't buy that. So you'd leave it. Would you say that's...
So I've seen that work for people. So it reminds me of the envelope method, where you just put everything in its different
compartment.
and then when that's done for the month, it's done.
Yeah.
If that works for you, do it.
Yeah.
My problem is with the cash.
Yeah.
if somebody comes to my gate and say, boy, so and so and so, this is happening, my daughter needs some help, I'd be like, okay, I have cash inside.
But that's why we factor in the 2 to 3 because life happens.
So, well, right now, we can only give you
Can only get
$1,000.
$1,000. Because it actually happened with somebody. They called me and said, you know, my mother just asked me for 5 bills. So, you know, there's a couple. They actually called me.
Yeah.
And I said, but remember, say you had the extra. They said, oh, yeah, take out the 5 bills to the 3,000.
So then perfect.
Okay.
So, see, the people
So
say
it can work.
And then, you see, if you have the card, you track it online, you go to your online banking, you see where you're moving the cents, but you still, either way you take it, both of these options might work for you.
It requires tracking,
but you know
though.
what requires it to work? You gotta be accountable to yourself.
And disciplined.
Don't go above that limit if you're setting a limit, right? Keep
Yeah.
within your target, yeah?
So the thing with the cards though that we have to watch, the POS fees have been increased.
That is why I
Every
draw cash.
That
That is why I draw
While
cash
we are about
one
to
time.
we're going to
We're going to the
increase
break.
Yeah. While they are increasing the POS fees, we're gonna go to the break. When we return, we have more discussion to continue here inside Talk the Ting with Kim. We have special guest in studio, Mr. McDonald himself.
From Learn, Grow, and Invest. You see that point of sale thing I dislike?
Everything